Hello YouTube, it is KG and welcome to the first ever Drive With Me video. There are a lot of kinds of videos that I want to film that I'm not sure if I should. I'm not sure if you guys will like them. I'm not sure how they'll go. But one that I wanted to do was the Drive With Me. I have a bit of a long drive. My phone is shaking a lot. It is a bumpy road. If my phone is just shaking this whole video, I'm sorry. But I have a bit of a long drive today, and every time I go to this friend's house, she lives about 30 minutes away, so I have a bit of a drive, and I just thought it would be fun to talk to y'all while I'm headed there. I didn't know if this video would be anything anyone would want to watch, so I wasn't sure if I should film it, but I may as well try. It doesn't make a difference. I'm a brand new channel anyway. I probably won't have any views on any of my videos, so I might as well just have fun while I can. But this video is not going to have too much visual information, so if you just want to, do some dishes or type of paper or just, do something where you have background noise, that could be the purpose of this video. I like videos where people just talk for a very long time because I like background noise. I like to just be able to hear something while I'm doing something else. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about Infinity War. If you have not seen Infinity War and you care about 3 or more Marvel superheroes, even just a little bit, like the tiniest portion of you cares about them, like, Guardians, Spider-Man, and Iron Man, or Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. If you have at least 3 Marvel characters that you care about, or if you plan on ever seeing a Marvel superhero movie in the future, because this is for the sake of continuity, you need to go see Infinity War. Like, seriously. Even if you were like, it doesn't seem that good, I'm not interested. Like, for real. Get away from this computer, leave this video alone, and go watch Infinity War before I spoil the whole thing for you. And do not let anybody else spoil it for you. Go watch it. I went into Infinity War not knowing anything. Like, I didn't see any trailers, I didn't see any spoilers, I didn't see any spoilers out of context. Whenever I saw Infinity War in a post, I said, nope, next, bye. I was not about to have it spoiled for me, and I'm at a red light, so I was not about to have it spoiled for me, and so I went to it having only seen the poster. That's all I looked at, because I was like, I just wanted to see who was in it, and I saw some people on the poster, and I was like, okay, we Gucci, like, I like them, so we can go. So I don't want to forget to say anything, so I'm just going to talk about the movie in chronological order as much as I can so that I remember everything. This is 100% spoiler review, review, analysis, opinions, theories. This is spoilers, okay? So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, or you're probably not even going to understand this video because I'm not even going to explain the movie. But okay, so in the beginning, the first section of the movie is, my camera is shaking so much, it's all the character intros. So pretty much there's the beginning sad death scene where Thor and all his people and Loki die. I don't much care about Thor. I never saw any of his movies. I think his actor is cute. That's really all he has going for him. Thor is just not, I don't care. Maybe I would have liked his movies, but I just didn't care enough to go see them. I was just disinterested. So, honestly, Loki's death is relevant, apparently. Apparently, Loki's a big thing, and I don't care. All I know is that's Thor's brother. He was the villain once. That's really my expansive knowledge on Thor. But if you really care about Thor and Loki, that is a sad scene, because people are dying. But even if you don't care, it's very dramatic, very well done. Specifically the Squidward character, and his walking over the bodies, things he says to them. It's very much something a cult leader would say, which just adds to the fear factor for me and makes him more intimidating, and also shows him and Thanos' followers' insanity. So I really particularly like the lines in that sequence from Squidward. We're just going to call him Squidward. I don't even know if he has a name. He's Squidward, okay? I honestly would have gone with Voldemort because he doesn't have a nose, but Squidward works, I guess. So that opening sequence. But after that, characters start getting introduced. And through the character introductions, I liked it, but I didn't like it. It felt like it went on for too long. I got to a point where I was beginning to wonder, like, is this just going to be the whole movie, just bringing forth more characters? Like, when will we see everyone, and when will this end? Like, oh, crap, I'm going the wrong direction. Oh, friggity frick. I'm going the completely wrong direction. Okay, I'm sure there's a way that I can go from here, but I don't know it, so I feel like my best bet is to turn around. Gosh, this is what happens when you're not paying attention. I started driving towards the mall instead of my friend's house. I'm amazing. Okay, what was I saying? Right, character introductions. It felt like I got to a point where I was like, are they gonna stop introducing new characters at some point? Or, like, are we really gonna go one by one with all these characters? And with the character introductions, it's really hype because it's like, yo, Black Panther's in this movie. I knew that from the poster, but it's just like, oh my god, God, I hate myself. There go T'Challa and his peoples. I'm living. You know, it's like that for everyone. Like, when your faves show up in the scene, it's like, okay, I see you. And there's like a set. I think it was wise of them to introduce them together, but it's like a set of characters that maybe they're Avengers or something. I don't know who they are, and I don't care about them too much. It was like Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, Vision. It was like Thor's friends. Thor seemed to associate himself with them. I think that they were Avengers. I really don't know. It was just them, and I was just like, wow, I don't care. And I feel like they're all from the same movie. So if you don't care, like, they kind of did that all together. Like, all the Black Panther people came up at once, all the Guardians characters came up at once. So if there's a movie that you just don't care about, all those characters will be introduced at once, and, you know, the whole movie is kind of fan service. So once you get past the fan service for the characters that you don't care about, it's kind of just, you know, watching a movie, getting involved in the plot, and the characters that you do care about will be featured. So, you know, it's all good. We're all good. So I liked how they kept them grouped together, and I just liked the hypeness of it. Like, the whole movie is fan service. There is no character development whatsoever. If you do not know these characters, this movie is not for you. You're not going to care. It's going to be so boring. The only character who gets developed is Thanos. The rest, and Thanos and his minions, honestly, like, they were the most dynamic characters. The rest of them is just, you know them, you care about them, you already understand them as a character, you're already here for it. You have to have seen the other movies to care about this at all. So, yeah, the character introductions just got a little old, a little stale. They did it kind of too slowly, and it was also, I feel bad for, shortly after the character introductions, and like towards the end of the character introduction portion of the movie, they sort of lost me. I wasn't confused. It was just, in the beginning it was serious, and in the end it was serious, and in the middle, like, you know, in the, like, right after the beginning it was comedy, and then there came a period where they had to kind of shift from the comedy of the character introductions into the seriousness at the end of the movie. And they did some of that okay, but for some of it, it was like they would have a serious moment and then throw in a joke, like, legit the next second. And it was just jarring. It was just too much. God, my car is driving so slow. I just went in the wrong direction. I'm supposed to be there in 6 minutes. I'm literally starting over. Like, I'm not even close. Y'all. Now I'm going behind this slow poke. I'm this person who doesn't have a license plate. I don't have time for this. Anyways, yeah, it just felt like they couldn't mix the comedy and the seriousness very well at certain points. It wasn't too, like, it didn't take away from the entire movie. It wasn't like a deal breaker, but it was kind of jarring for that portion of the movie, and it made me not like it as much. Like, I really could not keep up with, like, I couldn't keep a mood. I couldn't form a mood. I couldn't get integrated and invested in the universe. I didn't feel like I was part of the movie, or like I was watching something that was actually happening. It just felt like they were just, characters were just doing things, and I was just along for the ride. Am I going the right way? Let me think about this for a second. I think so. Okay, so it didn't settle well with me. But after that, we get towards, this is not the right way. This is, for flippity flap. For flippity flap. Okay, I think I have to go that way. I think I have to just turn around. Y'all, I might never make it to my destination. Anyways, character introductions. Oh, the thing about the character introductions portion though is that I kind of got a feel for the like cinematography of the movie, the creative direction and stuff, and I really liked how they handled the lighting. I liked how movies like Guardians and Black Panther were brighter, more colorful, more happy, more like they were kind of fantasy worlds in their settings, and then movies like Thor, presumably Iron Man, Spider-Man, were set more in a reality setting, so they were not quite as colorful. They weren't grim, but they were darker than Guardians. They weren't quite as comedic movies. They had their moments, but that wasn't the focus. And I feel like they did a good job of blending that. Like, I felt at some points like we were getting the bright, happy color of Guardians and Black Panther when it was a comedic moment in the movie. And then we were getting more of the grim, usual superhero movie sort of feel when it was more serious tones. So I feel like they did that well. And also, the CGI, well, we're just talking about the movie in general, the CG was very CG. You knew Thanos was not a real person. You could tell that he wasn't just someone painted purple, like his daughter, like Mora. You could tell Thanos was CG. You could tell Squidward was CG. Like, you could see the CG. But also, me being an animation major, there were details that they put in there that were so just careful. Like, Monsters, Inc. One thing I really liked about the animation of that movie is that every time the monsters, like, put their feet down, you could see their feet, like, sink into the floor. Not like melt, but like, when you, like, put weight on something, it kind of sinks. And for animation before that, it either didn't happen or it wasn't noticeable. But, in Monsters, Inc., they like, went into the ground. Like, their feet, weight was displaced. Thanos' feet did that. And Thanos, he never looked bad. Like, you knew he was CG, but honestly, that's good because there's this thing called the uncanny valley, which is when things just look so realistic that they start to creep you out. And while Thanos is supposed to be a scary character, I don't think that putting him in the uncanny valley would be good for this movie. That's not part of his fear factor is not his appearance. He honestly looks stupid with his 55 chins. Making him look creepy would not have added anything, so putting him in the uncanny valley was not a good decision. So Thanos, like, the characters that were CG, you could tell they were CG. Like, when Doctor Strange went up in the sky and had, like, 5 arms, you could tell that was CG. Like, that was so CG, it almost, like, took me out of the moment for a second. When Spider-Man was CG, you could tell it was CG. Like, you could tell, but also, the CG was really good in the backgrounds. With backgrounds, you don't have to worry about the uncanny valley so much, so when rocks and space stuff, and honestly, the majority of the settings were probably CG, and they looked very realistic. You did not ever stop for a second and, like, look at the setting and be like, oh, look at that 2-poly rock. Like, it was very well done. So, with making the CG characters look CG, with it being able to tell, like, that's real life and that's CG, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be able to tell that. Like, it doesn't automatically mean that they failed. I just realized I had my headphone jack plugged in, and I hope that didn't stop this video from recording. But CG was good. So, let's get into talking about the ending. Well, okay. Fight scenes were fine. There weren't anything spectacular. And again, if you don't know the characters, you're not going to care about them, and you probably won't know much about them until you just won't. Like Vision, I didn't care about him, and I didn't know anything about him except for what I needed to know for the movie. Like, I knew he had a gem, crystal, whatever the heck they called that thing, in his head, and I knew that Scarlet Witch liked him. That was it. I did not know what his powers were other than that he turns red, I didn't know where he came from. I didn't know why he was important. I didn't know I didn't know. And if you don't know, you're not gonna know, because they really don't take the time to tell you. They really don't care. You're supposed to come into this with prior knowledge, which is understandable. And the way that they set up this movie, it's pretty much like a sequel or a trequel or whatever. It's like after the movie that you watch. So you have to watch Thor to like see this Thor and know who he is. It's like a sequel to the Thor series. You have to watch Iron Man to see this Iron Man and know who he is. So that makes sense. Like, you know, it'll give you some information, but also there is continuity, and you're supposed to go into it with some prior knowledge. So I'm not mad at that at all. I'm just saying, if you don't know, you ain't gonna know. Don't think you can walk through this movie not having ever seen a Marvel movie. Don't think you can start here, because you cannot. No. Speaking of Vision, the romance in this movie was not the main focus. Like, Pepper Potts and Iron Man, I never felt their chemistry. I especially was not feeling it in this movie. Like, they had 10 seconds together, and it was so just, it was so disgusting, so terrible. I wonder if Pepper Potts faded away, by the way. Pepper Potts is Iron Man's wife, I'm assuming. That's what I heard her be called. That's just what I went with. I hope it's Pepper Potts, or else I'm gonna look stupid right now. But no. And then Vision and Scarlet Witch, their romance was kind of focused on in this movie, and by gosh, it was terrible. They had no chemistry whatsoever, and like their lines were so corny with that "I only feel you." Like, just, they're superheroes, but they're human. Like, can they just tell some jokes or something? Like, dang, they suck. The romance was not good, but that does not mean that none of the relationships in this movie were good. I particularly liked the clashing relationships of Star-Lord and Thor, and then of Doctor Strange and Iron Man. I never saw Doctor Strange, but I'm thinking I need to go back and watch it, because he is fine. Like, that man got some looks. Like, Iron Man, I'm sorry, Tony Stark, he's starting to get a little old. You got one too many scars. Like, you looking a little busted. Doctor Strange is looking like a whole polished snack next to him, but that's not important right now. I really like those clashing of heads, because first of all, it made sense for their personalities. You know, Thor is he's kind of oblivious to his own everything. So the fact that he doesn't know, he knows, but he's not like super aware of how attractive he is, and just his presence from being like a prince, just the authority that he puts off, he just kind of takes charge of things. And that, of course, would clash with Star-Lord, who's trying to, you know, be the captain of a ship that he's not the captain of, and trying to impress this lady who he had a hard time getting Gamora, basically. So it makes sense that they would clash. And then Iron Man and Doctor Strange. I never saw Doctor Strange's movies, but from what I saw in the movie, I can assume that he's kind of a control freak, and he has his values, and he's very dead set in them. So for Iron Man to always be like, he wants the stone, just destroy the stone, for him to be like, no, I'm not going to do that, it was like, that already was their clash, because Iron Man is a very intelligent person, and Tony Stark tends to think that he's always right. So for Tony Stark to present a case, and for his case, or his plan, or his solution to be ignored, it makes sense that they would clash in that way, because it's like differing values along with too similar of personalities. When you get two control freaks together, they want to control each other, and it doesn't work out. So I loved those relationships. Like, I love that. Furthermore, to go with the antennas, she's honestly my favorite Guardians character. Like, Groot is great, Star-Lord is great, I don't really like Gamora, the big strong guy is great, but I don't even know his name, Rocket is okay, but Antenna Girl, something about that chick, like, she just gives me life. I love her character, and so they did her really well. Like, sometimes when they gotta, write new lines, you got new directors, sometimes characters get messed up. I didn't feel like anyone got messed up in this movie. I feel like everyone was very much in character, saying things that made sense for their character, and behaving the way that they really would, and even when presented with these new situations. So I really loved that about, I loved that about the movie, and about these characters. So, let's talk ending. I loved that there was never a portal in the sky. There was a flying donut, but there was no portal, which was refreshing. And, the end. Like, when the credits roll, I was sitting in my chair thinking it was a joke. Like, okay, credits are rolling. Whatever, the movie's over. Right? Like, I'm gonna fall for this, please. But then the theater lights came on, and I was like, wait. Is this movie really over? What do you mean? Like, there have been movies before where everybody loses. Like, the Star Wars one. There have been movies before where everybody loses. But I've never seen one. So walking into this, it's a bunch of freaking superheroes. Of course you expect them to win and defeat, Thanos and save the day, but it didn't happen. And that to me was a twist ending, because movies have a sort of format that they follow, and when you break that format, it's kind of a big thing. Like, to anyone who's interested in poetry, Shakespearean sonnets were sort of like in place. It's like, this is how you write a sonnet, this is what they do, this, that, and the third. And then, I think it's in Astrophil and Stella, Sir Philip Sidney, his first sonnet. He's writing, sonnets are usually in iambic pentameter. He writes that one so that there's 6 beats in every line, and it's like breaking the norm, and that is kind of like, whoa, you actually did that, and that's the effect I get from this movie. Like, they lost, like, what, huh? And it's a plot twist to me, because it's like they set you up with a normal movie tropes, and they like throw in just all the stuff that a movie would normally have to make you think it's going to go the way the movies normally go. For example, they introduce all the characters, and they do things like, they say, like, oh, he's undefeatable. If he gets this norm, we can't defeat him. And, they're actually not lying. He's undefeatable. But normally, it's just an exaggeration to make you scared. They have the whole villain with, like, a mindset that doesn't really make sense. Like, you understand where they're coming from, but it's also like, that doesn't really make sense. I'll get into that in a moment. But they have that. They have everyone fighting hard. They have the big final battle. And they have characters who die who don't die, like Thor and Iron Man. They have characters who seem to be dead, and then they're not dead later. And it gives you the impression that actions don't have consequences in this movie, and that you can lose minor characters, like, just random civilians or whatever, but the major ones, like Thor, are gonna stick around. If they're dead, they're dead, They gave that impression from the beginning of the movie, and then towards the end, no. And it was just really shocking to me. It was very interesting to watch. I mean, I eventually came to appreciate it, but at the time, I was upset. Okay, I was not pleased. I wonder if I'm going the right direction. But anyways, the end, it felt like a shock to me. It felt like a plot twist. It wasn't really a plot twist. It was honestly the plot that they set up for you the whole time. But it was a plot twist because normally you expect the plot that they set up for you the whole time to just, fall to crap. You expect something different to start to happen. And that didn't happen here. It was just like, whoa. Furthermore, movies tend to do this thing where they don't have continuity in death scenes. It'll be like one character dies, like Black Panther T'Challa, for example. They just fade away into nothing, and they're just gone. Like, it just happens. Scarlet Witch, she was just, and then she was gone. Like, it just happens. But movies will sometimes want to make you suffer, pull at your heartstrings, make you, question the meaning of life, wonder why you even woke up that morning. And they will do things, I think one character death, extremely long, for no reason. There's no explanation as to why that character's death takes way longer than everybody else's, except that the movie just wants you to cry. And that character in this movie who died way too slowly, for my liking, was Spider-Man. I really, really, really like this new Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man was such a disappointment. Nobody liked him, and then they introduced this kid from Spider-Man Homecoming, and I loved him. He was so cute. In his manners, he was just cute. He was like, he just always wanted to try hard. And then they built up him and Tony's relationship, even in this movie, there was some character development in he and Tony's bromance. Like, and then when he dies, first of all, he's like, I'm not feeling too good. Which is like, nobody else felt anything. They just faded away. Like, that was the point. It was supposed to be mercy. Like, you don't feel it. You're just gone. But he's like, I don't feel so good. And then, like, his legs seem to fade away before the rest of him. And he gets, like, given his little last words. Like, why was his death so long? When T'Challa just disappears. When Groot just died. Like, why was Spider-Man so long? It was such torture. Like, I was in there with a friend, and I literally had to struggle not to cry when the credits rolled. I was like, what do you mean he's gone? He didn't want to go. Like, what the frick? And honestly, like, I was expecting them to get rid of Iron Man that way. Not Spider-Man. I wasn't even thinking about Spider-Man. And then he just, like, my soul. I was kept up that night thinking about Spider-Man's death scene. Like, that really messed with me, which it was not, accurate with the way everybody else is dying, but it was a great decision because it really made you feel the weight of these deaths. Like, the other ones, the weight was felt by people around them. Like, when Groot fades away and Rocket is just like, come on. Or when T'Challa fades away and, I don't know her name, but she's my favorite Black Panther character. When the fighter lady is just looking around like, what? That makes you feel the weight more of just, like, people's reaction. But Spider-Man, bro, like, oh, that was one death. That was a death right there. Goodness Lord. That was painful. Okay, so some things I want to talk about. Gargamel. Thanos doesn't really make sense. This whole theory of, like, I need to kill half the universe, it sort of makes sense. But it's also like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, people are going to repopulate the world, and then are you going to kill everybody again? When do you decide that there's too many people that you need to kill half? There's always going to be a social hierarchy. There's always going to be poor people, and there's always going to be rich people. You cannot get rid of that. If you want a communist sort of life, then that's different than just killing half the universe. Like, it's not going to solve anything. It's honestly just going to cause a bunch of problems. Because, like, imagine if he kills the president. Then we have to get a new president. Things like, the vice president has to step up. It just puts things out of whack. It puts things out of order. And then it ends up killing more people than just a half. Because, for example, the helicopter at the end credit scene that crashes into the building, the people in that building are now going to, die. Because a freaking helicopter crashed into them. So that's more than half of the Earth population that is dying now. So it's not even like his plan goes to plan, And, it leaves situations like, what if there was an infant and, like, a single parent took care of them, and then their parent fades away, and you just have a baby in a house, no one knows that it's there, no one knows how to take care of it, like, everyone's probably not even thinking about the baby, because they're kind of just like, all my friends' family just died, and so, and it just doesn't make sense. It's like, Thanos, why do you think that that's the best solution? Like, it sort of makes sense. I get it. They did a good job of explaining him, but it's also like, dude, that's stupid. Like, it's not even that that's morally wrong. It's just that that's dumb. Like, that doesn't make sense. It won't work. I don't understand why you think it will work, because it worked on one planet. Sort of. No, like, no. And because his planet fell to crap. Like, what? The next thing that doesn't make sense to me is that Groot disappears. Groot is the only Groot. We went over this in the movie. He's the only tree person. So how is it that he disappears if half of every population is supposed to disappear? Either he should stay, or if he disappears, Thanos should also disappear because all of his people died. So why is Groot gone but Thanos isn't? That doesn't make sense. That's not fair. It doesn't follow the plan. It doesn't make sense. One thing that I feel like they threw in a red herring to the surprise ending. The time ring. Thanos reverses time, brings Vision back. That made me feel like, oh, okay, that's how they're going to fix this. Everybody's going to fade away, and then they're going to somehow get the glove, reverse time, and undo what has happened. That was kind of like the red herring. Like, there's not going to be, everybody's going to win because they can reverse time. But no. They can't. And now it's really like, honestly, how are they going to do that? Because if they couldn't defeat Thanos when he was less powerful and it was all of them, how were half of them going to defeat him now that he's more powerful? And then, okay, I've heard this go two different ways. I've heard people be like, obviously they're all gonna come back. Infinity War in the comics is like a 3-part series. So they're saying, in the next movie or in the next 2 movies, obviously they're gonna fix this problem. They're not gonna freaking get rid of the new Spider-Man. They're not gonna get rid of half their characters that come on. They're gonna fix it just in later movies. And I've also heard the theory that this is like a reset of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For example, there is a black Spider-Man coming out. Now, he was thought of as an additional Spider-Man. Maybe he's now the replacement Spider-Man. There is also going to be, I don't know what I was going to say, but basically just the idea that the characters who died are going to be replaced. T'Challa's sister, the, brain person. But the hierarchy of that society, she would be the new Black Panther, so she's just going to replace T'Challa. It gives them a chance to have new characters fill up these old roles, and it gives them a chance to make more movies with new people. And I hear both perspectives. I would honestly probably believe the reset one even more if they got rid of Iron Man, because Iron Man's actor has been doing it for a long time. He's kind of sick of it. People are starting to feel like Tony is stale. I feel like he's a stale Iron Man. I still love him, but I'm kind of just like, dude, you're old. Like, step aside. So I would have believed that even more if they got rid of him. The fact that they didn't makes me think maybe they're going to redo it. And also the fact that Doctor Strange says this is the only way. It makes me think, he went and looked through time. And for him to be like, this is the only way, it's like he knows how they're going to do this. He saw the way that they have to do this to win. And either this is the only way, either that, it makes it seem like they're on track to win. It doesn't look like it, but if they just keep going, then things will work out. Him saying this is the only way is him saying, I know it seems stupid that I'm giving him my time crystal, but this is how we have to win. This is what I have to do. This is what has to happen. Next, I want to talk about how Star-Lord screwed everybody. They had Thanos. They had him captured. They had him, controlled. They were taking off his glove. They got his glove off. Spider-Man did so much. He did not deserve to die, okay? He got Thanos' glove off. He put some web on his face. He made that man look stupid. He came up with a plan to get rid of Squidward. Spider-Man was really out here coming for necks. He did not deserve that, all right? He survived the whole time. I'm so mad about that. But anyways, Star-Lord literally screwed them all. I understand being angry that he killed your girlfriend. Or your long-time booty call, but listen, sir, that does not mean that you damn the whole universe. That's not what that means. Furthermore, Iron Man even warned him, don't engage. We almost got him. Just wait until we have the glove off, then you can beat him, and you can, you throw hands. You can do whatever you want. But no, it wasn't good enough for Star-Lord. I want Star-Lord to realize that this is his fault. This wouldn't have happened if he would have just calmed down for another, 2 minutes. Honestly, another 30 seconds, and they could have had him, but no. I just want to put that out there. This is all Star-Lord's fault. I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but it's Star-Lord's fault. Next, I hope that in the next movies, they have scenes from just, civilians. Just civilians living their civilian life, and just how things have been messed up. Maybe a girl moves in with her friend's family because she doesn't have parents anymore, and she can't afford the house that her parents are paying for. Or maybe it just shows Peter's friend all sad because obviously Peter's gone. Things like that. I just want to see civilian life and how it's been a little distorted by all of this. Gamora's death was very predictable. I love the dramatic irony of Gamora being you love nothing, it's being sis. I liked, seeing her fight back in slow motion. I think that was a good choice. I just liked it. I don't know, it was a good death scene to me. I honestly didn't believe she was going to stay dead. I was he's going to throw her down there, but the ring's going to decide that he doesn't actually love her. It's not going to work. I've heard the theory that she's trapped in the crystal that he got, so that's how they're going to bring Gamora back. I've also heard, Gamora ain't coming back. Most people don't even like her. There's a lot of people who don't like Gamora, and I understand them wanting to bring Groot back because it's freaking Groot, but Gamora, people don't like her. Gamora and Loki are kind of the deaths that are arguably permanent, but Loki has died before, and he's not dead, and Gamora is Gamora, so we're going to have to see about that. You're going to have to see. They better bring back Spider-Man, Antenna Girl and T'Challa. Alright, I don't care about the rest of them. I don't give two flying flips if what's the Scarlet Witch is in this. I don't care. But you really think you about to take my Spider-Man, my Antenna Girl, and my Black Panther that I just got? You are confused. Am I driving in the right direction? Oh, sometimes I have a little too much passion for things. I was supposed to be there 21 minutes ago. Yeah, I've been driving for a long time. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to say about the movie that I just forgot. Overall, I really like the movie. I like the surprise of it not going well for our heroes. I like the fact that I'm torn between two ideas of like, oh, they're going to fix it in the next movie, and oh no, this is them trying to reset the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They don't want to do this anymore. I like that there's two ideas going on. And even like when I was in the theater, I heard someone be like, oh, this is reset. And I heard someone else be like, when's the next movie? Like literally in the theater, people had these two different ideas. So I like that it's not like completely clear what's going to go on. I like that. It's a little ambiguous. I love Doctor Strange. He's so delicious. A full snack, a full meal. I don't care. And I just want my faves back. Like, seriously, they got you so hyped for the characters in the beginning sequences, like when they would be introduced. It was like, oh my god, I love him. Like, it was literally like all your faves. Like, I was sitting in the movie with my friend, pointing out all the people that I liked. I would be like, oh, that's my favorite. And you'd be like, oh, that's my favorite. And we were like, oh, that's my favorite. Like, yes. And then they all died. Like, everyone who I said I liked died. Like, even in the end sequence, and they introduced those two actors, I didn't know who they were. But the girl actor, I was like, I love her as an actor. She was in How I Met Your Mother. She's really good. She's good at drama. Was she in How I Met Your Mother? Or am I confused? I don't know. She's good at drama, and I like her as an actor. But I didn't say it out loud because I was like, now that I like her, she's gonna die. Like, I could just feel it because this movie hates me. And then sure enough. Oh, Hulk. Listen, sir. Hulk was hilarious. Like, in the beginning, when he got punched in the face, like, his reaction, he was like a freaking baby, like a child, like a toddler who just got slapped. He was like, what? I love that. Like, it was such a good show of Thanos' strength. Like, even the Hulk, even their secret weapon, their big, bad, powerful guy, he's not only beat, but he's beat to a point where he is, like, reverting into childhood. He is like, what is going on? Like, Hulk has never dealt with opposition like that, and he doesn't even know how to react. I love that. And, like, the first time when he was, you know, trying to go green, they needed some help, and Hulk was like, listen, I'm clocking out. I love that. Later into the movie, though, it's like, Hulk, get over yourself. Like, I know you're scared, but the universe is at stake. You need to come out. You need to do your job. What you mean, no? We don't have time for this. Like, no. But I do like the, you big green asshole, I'll do it myself. I like that line. I like the delivery. But Hulk, he was pissing me off towards the end of the movie. Like, if you don't freaking get your butt out here. But Hulk is going to come out in the second movie. I think that's what they were doing. They were building up Hulk's reappearance and his, you know, chance to strike back at Thanos. Be like, me. God. I love the part in the Space Donut when the Iron Man team and the Guardians team meet up. I just love that sequence. Like, here's a question: where's Gamora? Raise you one better. Who's Gamora? I love that sequence. Teenage Groot gives me life. I love how he's just like a teenager. Like, when he was little Groot, he kind of liked to dance all the time, and he was little and cute, and he thought he was more powerful than he was. Like, he acted like a kid. I like the teenage Groot acts like a teenager. The fact that they thought to think of that. The fact that he just wants to play games all the time and is kind of rude and annoying. I love that. I love that. Furthermore, the part where he makes Thor's axe, I don't know why. I thought that Groot was going to have to sacrifice himself to make the axe. I don't know why I thought that, but I got so scared for a second. And then, you know, it was just, he was cutting off his arm and his arms regenerate, so I was just like, oh, whatever. But, you know, he ends up fighting away in the end anyway, so whatever. I love it. I love Teenage Groot, and I honestly would be more keen to believe that everyone's just being replaced in their recent universe if they hadn't gotten rid of Groot. Groot is, I understand Gamora, but Groot is too beloved. They cannot continue the Guardian series without Groot. They can't do it. People will not go. Like, I'm telling you, they would have been better off making Rocket fade away, because Rocket, people like him, but he's Rocket. Groot, like, they killed off Groot in the first movie, and then, honestly, before the movie even ended, they were like, yeah, no, we need Groot back. This is not going to work. So, yeah, I would believe it a little bit more if they had gotten rid of Iron Man instead of Spider-Man, and if they had gotten rid of Rocket or the big guy instead of Groot, because those two, it's like, come on, you didn't get rid of Groot, like, stop playing, please stop, it's not funny. Yeah, I'm about at my destination, so I guess that is all I have to say about the movie. I've been talking for 40 minutes. It's a really good movie, but it's not really a movie. Like, you know, movies kind of have like a 3-act structure, character development, things happen usually. This movie does not work like that, and it's just because it is a amalgamation, like a combination of all of these previously existing properties and characters and character personalities. And that is okay. I'm not mad at that setup. I'm not mad at the way that they chose to do this. It's just different. Is this where I need to turn, or is it the next one? I don't know. It's the next one. It's just different. It's just not what one would expect. I mean, it's what you would expect, but it's just, it doesn't behave like a normal movie, so you can't really rate it like a normal movie. It's so much its own beast, but it's very good. It's well handled, except for the parts where the comedy and the drama weren't really mixing. And just a bit in the beginning, I feel like if there was just like one last character intro like that, it would have gone well. Like, they just had combined two of the character intros, it wouldn't have felt like it went on for so long. But other than Thanos, people can see the flaws in his argument too easily. But other than that, it went really well. There was one thing I wanted to say. Thanos' minions, Squidward, and then the girl. The girl minion sort of reminded me of Shigo from Kim Possible. I don't know why, she just felt like Shigo to me. And the fact that she was against the Scarlet Witch just felt like Kim. So I adored her death. Like, it was just such a surprise. And, you know, usually, you know, minions like that who have a personality, they don't die. Like, their boss is defeated. Like, Thanos in this case would have been defeated, and they would have just, like, you know, kind of gone down with him. But they're not, like, individually defeated. So that was interesting to see the, like, minions get, you know, shredded up or thrown into the void of space. It was like, okay, Squidward, okay, bye, Shigo, like, dang. But I have arrived at my destination. So thank you so much for sitting and talking with me about Infinity War today, and I'm gonna go eat breakfast with my friends. I will see all of y'all next time, and until then, toodaloo.